Hello everyone! I am here with probably the most exciting video yet. You already saw the thumbnail and you already saw the title, so you already know what's coming, but dun, 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 I'm engaged! Yay! Oh, come on, camera, focus. This is my ring. It's very, very sparkly and just so beautiful, and I'm so happy. Okay, so here's the story. So, we got engaged on June 1st, which is a little bit ago from now. I've just been so overwhelmed with wedding planning, and then I was traveling for 2 weeks for work, and there's a bunch of family stuff going on, so I just haven't had time to sit down and film. But we got engaged on June 1st at these gardens, not too far from our house. One of the things that Michael, my fiance, I love saying that, and I like to do together is go to gardens when we travel to new places and stuff like that. We would like to go to that locations like botanical gardens, whatever it is. So there's this place not too far from us that we've been a few times, and we decided to go. It was a Saturday, and we kind of just decided, like, it was like Thursday, and we were like eating dinner, and we were like, oh, should we do anything this weekend? And I was like, oh, well, we were gonna go to the gardens last weekend, we couldn't, maybe we should go this weekend, we could see all the flowers in bloom. And he's like, yeah, it's a good idea. So, like, didn't even really like suspect it. Like, I had come up with the idea because we just like doing that. So I was like, okay, well, we can just do this and it'll be really fun. So that day, so it was a Saturday, right? Well, that day was kind of a mess, and it's all my fault because the night before we got the email for our rent renewal, and it was kind of more than we wanted, so we were gonna like go to the office and talk to them about like why it went up so much. But so I emailed them, and then the office was closed, they didn't get back. So on like Saturday morning I woke up and she's like, oh, I'm here, come by whenever. So I come by, and it turns out she wasn't there, and then the office was closed for an hour. So long story short, we spent like the first 3 hours of the morning just going back and forth between the office and then our apartment, and then going back to the office and then back to our apartment. And like meanwhile, Michael's like waiting all this time to go to the garden and propose to me, and I had no idea. And I'm the one that's like, I don't want to go to the garden until we have this all figured out. So that man already knew he was a patient man, but he's especially patient after that, because if the roles were reversed and I was the one proposing and he was doing that, I would have lost my mind. So I've been like, oh my god, I'm so nervous, I can't keep waiting. But we finally went. We got there a little later than we wanted, but that's okay. And we had a picnic lunch, which we did last time we went to, which was like a year-ish ago. So we had our lunch, and then we just like walked around. And it was funny because while we were eating lunch, this couple was like doing a tour of the garden with a wedding coordinator. And I was like, oh, that'd be so cute. Like a wedding here would be so pretty and romantic with the flowers. So we're like walking around, and obviously, again, I have no idea, he has his ring in his pocket. And so we go like through this garden area. Then we walked. There's like this side trail that brings you on like a really short path that like gives you this really pretty of the mountains behind you. So we do the path, and we get up there, and there's like a family of 4 like sitting on a bench, and he's like, darn, I thought we could like get a cute picture there, but they're there. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a bummer, because like last time we went, we got a really cute picture there. So I'm like, again, not even thinking anything. So then we walk down the little hill, and right to our right is a gazebo with the same like mountain view. So we go on it, and that was the first time I noticed like something might be kind of weird, because he like stayed behind me, and then I was like, what is he doing? I like turned around, and he's just standing there, but then right behind him was that same family. So I'm like, come over here and like see the view, and he's like, oh, I just thought we might be like in their way. And I guess he was like thinking about proposing, but the people were behind us, so he didn't want to. So then we like looked at the view, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty. So then we go into like this woodsy area. Okay. So the woodsy area is really pretty because there's a fountain in the middle, like a little stone fountain. But the fountain like wasn't coming up all the way. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So there's like a fountain in the middle. there's a bench on one side, and then on the other side is this like long walkway of beautiful grass and bushes. Behind us is the gazebo of the mountains, and then to our like right in front of us is like this dirt path with all these flowers on the right and everything. So I'm like distracted by this fountain because I'm like, what the heck is not working? And I like keep trying to get him to look at it because I'm like, can you figure out why it's not working? And he's like, no, I don't know, it's fine, like it's just not working. I'm like, oh, okay, well, like whatever, fine, I guess it's not working. Like I thought maybe you'd want to fix or like play with it. He's like, no, we'll just leave it. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I start walking away down the dirt path, just like walking to the next thing. And then all I hear is Melissa. And I'm like, what? So I'm facing this way. He's behind me. I have no idea what's going on. I turn around and he's on one knee, just like, I'm gonna take my ring off, holding the ring like this. Like it's not even in a box. He's just holding it like this. And I immediately was like, oh, and like I walked backwards. I was so surprised. I walked backwards into a tree. And he said my face got all red. And he was like, I love you so much. Will you marry me? And then I was so thrown off. I just started trying to give him a hug. And he's like, wait, you have to like say yes or no. And I'm like, oh, yes, a million times yes. And then I gave a big hug and kiss. And I was like, oh my God, like I can't believe this. And then like the whole afternoon, we just walked around the garden and we got pictures everywhere of like me going like this, like, or like just my hand in front of the flowers. Oh my gosh, it was such a surprise and it was so much fun. And I'm so happy because I love him so much and I know he loves me so much too, and just really excited to start this next chapter of our lives. But there's a few more things I want to say because I don't want to forget this. This is like my own little video diary of the day. So, first off, he didn't even decide he was going to propose till like the day before he did. So, little backstory. Michael has a pretty good poker face. He, unlike me, the second I have like exciting information, I'm like, someone sees me and I'm like, and they're like, what is it? I'm like, nothing, I'm totally fine, everything is fine. But like clearly you can see it in my face, it's not, because I just get so excited. So he's actually had the ring since January, like almost 5-ish months before we got engaged. So the diamond is actually his grandmother's, and he got it when we went home, like to his house for Christmas. But I had no idea. At all. And so he actually like did it all in January. He had like the ring made, everything. And I guessed the right day because there's a particular Friday. And he wasn't working that day. He had off. And I called him and I said, do you want to get lunch with me and my friends? And he's like, I can't. I'm too busy at the dentist. And I'm like, you've been talking about paying this dentist bill all week. It can't be a big deal. Well, lo and behold, he's getting the ring. And I thought about it because I have text from my best friend and I was like, I think this is what happened. That's what happening. And sure enough, I was right. And then, if you guys remember, we went to the Bahamas for Valentine's Day. I was convinced it was going to happen then because I was like, all right, this is it. Like, it's Valentine's Day. It's romantic. We're on vacation. Didn't happen at all. And not only me, but I'm pretty sure my parents thought it was going to happen. His parents thought it was going to happen. All of our friends thought it was going to happen. And he's like, yeah, that's exactly why I couldn't do it. Because it was too obvious then. Like, everyone expected it. And I'm like, oh, you're right. But, I'm impatient. Anyways. So then I was like, okay. And like, we talked about getting engaged. So it wasn't like whether or not we were going to get engaged. But I just like get really antsy. And I just want to like know things. So I'm like thinking, okay, like when could it happen? Like, I don't know. And then the weekend before we got engaged, his family came to visit and I was like, okay, this is going to be it. Because it'll be both of our families together. Like, everyone will be there. Like, big deal. No, didn't happen. He's like, oh, I didn't even think about that. And then afterwards he's like, well, I kind of thought about it, but I just didn't like think of it then. Like, I should actually do it then. I'm like, all right, whatever. Oh, and also how he got transported the ring around was in a bag, his sunglasses bag. He has like a cloth drawstring bag for sunglasses because he's like, the ring box is too obvious. You'd see it in my like pocket of my pants. I'm like, you're right, that's a good point. Like, it would have been pretty obvious if there was a box in your pocket. So I'm like, all right, good point. But I was so surprised, and it's cute. I asked him like later that week we saw my family, and I was like, they asked him if he was nervous, and he was like, no, I don't get nervous around Melissa. And I'm like, oh my heart, I can't wait to marry you. So wedding planning has definitely officially begun. We toured a whole bunch of venues already. So we picked our venue already, and I emailed them this morning because we had to pick our start time, I guess, like for the contract. So we should be getting the contract tomorrow, which is very exciting. So it's just such a fun time, and we just were so happy together, and I think we complement each other really well. Balance each other out for sure, and we just have so much fun in life together, and I'm just excited to do life forever with him. So Michael, I love you very, very much. And I can't wait to be with you forever and ever. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and enjoying this little story time with me, and I can't wait to take you more on the journey of my wedding planning. All right, bye.